Horns blared. Tires screeched. In the middle of the intersection, a battered sedan stalled, smoke curling from under its hood. Drivers leaned on their horns, some yelling out their windows, but no one stopped. Then, slamming his truck into park, a white single dad in his mid-30s, Tyler, leapt into the road. His little boy, no older than 6, pressed his face to the window, eyes wide as his father strained to push the car to safety. Inside the sedan sat a pale-faced single mom in her early 30s, her daughter crying softly in the back seat. Tyler dug his boots into the asphalt and shoved until the car rolled out of danger. The mom rolled her window down, breathless, her voice trembling. "Sir, I don't even know your name, but what I'm about to tell you might change your life. Before we dive in, drop a comment with where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos like this. Let's begin." Tyler's shirt clung to his back as he caught his breath. "You okay, ma'am?" he asked, wiping sweat from his forehead. The woman, Emily, nodded, though her hands still shook on the steering wheel. Her daughter, about 8, whispered, "Mom, is the car broken forever?" Tyler crouched beside the window, his tone steady and kind. "Not forever. Let's take a look." He popped the hood with practiced ease. He worked construction during the day, fixing engines on the side just to get by. Emily stepped out, smoothing her hair nervously. She wore a thrift store jacket that had seen better days, but her eyes held a quiet resilience. "You didn't have to do that," she murmured. "Most people just drive by," Tyler shrugged. "I've been in traffic with my boy when the car gave up on me. I know the feeling." He smiled at his son watching from the truck. "We help when we can." Emily studied him, her lips trembling as if holding back words. Then she blurted out, "Do you know who owns this car?" Tyler blinked, confused. "Well, don't you?" Emily's jaw clenched. "Not exactly. I borrowed it from my boss. And if he finds out I broke it, he'll fire me." Her confession hit hard. Tyler looked back at the smoking engine. He knew what it felt like to have everything hanging by a thread. "Then he won't find out," he said, determination flaring in his eyes. "We'll fix it." Emily's eyes filled with tears. This stranger was offering more kindness in 10 minutes than her employer had in years. She took a shaky breath. "Tyler, you don't understand. My boss isn't just any man. If I lose this job, I lose everything." Tyler's hands stilled on the engine bolts. "Then tell me what you need. I'll make sure that doesn't happen." And for the first time that night, Emily's fear gave way to a flicker of hope. The streetlight above buzzed faintly as Tyler leaned deeper under the hood, his hands moving with the kind of rough precision that came from years of fixing things he couldn't afford to replace. Emily stood close, clutching her daughter's small hand, trying not to let the fear in her chest spill out. Cars zipped past them, drivers annoyed, but Tyler seemed immune to the chaos around them. "You're lucky," he said finally, wiping a streak of oil across his wrist. "The engine's not blown, but this radiator hose is about to give out. It'll hold for now if I patch it, but you'll need a replacement soon." Emily let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. Her daughter leaned against her hip, whispering, "Mommy, he's like a superhero." The words cracked something inside Emily. She'd spent years trying to protect her daughter from seeing the harshness of her world, late rent notices, the landlord's threats, the boss's constant humiliations. Hearing her little girl call a stranger a superhero made her realize just how starved they both were for kindness. Tyler grinned faintly, his eyes flicking to the child. "Superheroes usually wear capes, kiddo. I just get grease on my hands." Emily smiled weakly, though her heart felt like it might burst. "You don't understand," she whispered. "If this car doesn't get back to my boss's garage in one piece, he'll have me out on the street tomorrow." Tyler looked up, his jaw tightening. "He sounds like a real piece of work." "He is," she admitted, her voice trembling. "But I can't lose this job. I've been holding it together with nothing but duct tape and prayers." Tyler closed the hood gently, the clang echoing through the quiet intersection. He wiped his hands on his jeans and stepped closer, lowering his voice so only she could hear. "Then let me help you drive it back. If it breaks down again, we'll be ready." "You shouldn't carry this alone." Emily stared at him, bewildered. No one had ever offered to stand beside her like that. Her daughter tugged on her sleeve. "Mom, can he come with us? Please." Emily's lips parted. She wanted to say no, wanted to keep this stranger at arm's length, but something in Tyler's steady eyes told her he wasn't just another man passing through. Finally, she nodded. "Okay, but only because I don't have another choice." Tyler gave a half smile. Sometimes that's all it takes. The drive back was tense. Emily gripped the steering wheel as if it might shatter in her hands, while Tyler followed behind in his old pickup with his son strapped in the back seat. The convoy looked almost absurd. 2 beat-up vehicles limping through the night, carrying 4 lives bound together by accident. When they reached the garage where Emily worked, she parked the sedan carefully out front. Tyler pulled up beside her, his headlights washing the cracked pavement in harsh light. Emily climbed out, her shoulders slumped with exhaustion. "Thank you," she said, her voice raw. "If you hadn't stopped back there, I don't know what would have happened." Tyler stepped closer, his face lit by the yellow glow of the street lamp. "You don't have to thank me. I've been where you are. More times than I care to admit." Emily's eyes narrowed. "You're a single dad too, aren't you?" He nodded slowly. "Yeah, my boy's 6. His mom, she walked out years ago. Some nights I didn't know how we'd make it. But we're still here." The honesty in his voice struck Emily like a hammer. She wasn't looking at a stranger anymore. She was looking at someone who lived in the same shadows she did, who knew what it was like to fight every day just to keep going. Her daughter yawned, leaning against her. Emily stroked her hair, her throat tightening. She turned back to Tyler. "Why did you stop?" "You didn't even know me." Tyler exhaled slowly. His gaze flicked to his son, asleep in the truck. "Because if I was stuck in the middle of that road, I'd pray someone would stop for us. And because sometimes the right thing is the only thing that keeps you human." Emily's chest tightened. His words hit harder than she expected, dragging tears to her eyes. She tried to blink away. "Tyler," she whispered, her voice breaking. "You don't understand. I wasn't lying when I said this could change your life. The man who owns this car, he's not just my boss. He owns this entire garage. He has connections in half the companies in this city. And tomorrow morning, he's planning to fire 12 people. I was on his list." Tyler frowned, his brows knitting. "And now," she swallowed hard, the weight of her secret trembling on her lips. "Now, I think you might be the reason he doesn't. You've given me something I can use, something to fight back with." Tyler's voice dropped, dark and steady. "Then use it. Don't let him walk all over you. People like him only get away with it when nobody stands up." Emily looked at him, her tears glinting in the dim light. "What if standing up cost me everything?" Tyler's hand brushed the roof of the car, his expression raw. "Then at least you'll know you didn't bend. And sometimes that's the first step to getting your life back." Emily's daughter shifted, half asleep, and Emily whispered, "Let's get you home." Tyler nodded, stepping back toward his truck. But as he opened the door, Emily's voice cut through the silence. "Tyler!" He turned. Her words were shaky, but her gaze was firm. "You didn't just save me from traffic tonight. You gave me the courage I didn't think I had left. Tomorrow, when I face him, I'll remember this moment." Tyler studied her, then gave a single nod. "Good. Don't forget it. And if he tries to crush you, call me. I'll be there." Emily's lips trembled into the faintest smile. "I believe you." As she drove away, Tyler sat in his truck, staring at the road ahead. He didn't know it yet, but her words would ripple through his life in ways neither of them could imagine. And for the first time in a long time, he felt that maybe, just maybe, things were about to change. The next morning broke grey and heavy, the kind of sky that felt like it was pressing down on the world. Tyler sat at his worn kitchen table, his son munching on cereal beside him. He tried to focus on the paper in front of him. Another overdue bill, but Emily's words from the night before kept circling in his head. "You gave me the courage I didn't think I had left." He didn't know why that sentence haunted him. Maybe because it had been years since anyone had said something that made him feel like his existence mattered, beyond keeping his son fed. A knock jolted him from his thoughts. He opened the door, and there stood Emily, her daughter clutching her hand. Both looked exhausted, their eyes swollen from lack of sleep, but Emily's jaw was set with something fiercer than fear. "I need your help," she said simply. Tyler let them in. The little girl joined his son on the living room floor, pulling toys from a plastic crate. Their laughter rang out like a melody, small and unburdened, while Emily paced the room. "My boss is holding a meeting today," she began, her voice tight. "He's planning to humiliate me in front of everyone. He's done it before. Calls me useless, reminds me I'm replaceable. But this time," she hesitated, her fists clenching. "This time I'm going to stand up." Tyler studied her, his eyes steady. "And you came here because—" Emily stopped pacing, her gaze locking onto his. "Because I believe you when you said you'd be there. And because, when you pushed that car, it wasn't just metal you moved. You pushed me out of the corner I've been trapped in for years." Tyler leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms. "So what do you need from me?" "Strength," she admitted. "Someone to remind me not to fold when he starts tearing me down." The garage buzzed with the usual noise of tools, engines, and tired men in oil-stained uniforms when Emily and Tyler walked in together. Heads turned immediately. She was used to being ignored, invisible even, but today the attention felt different. People noticed the determination in her stride and the stranger at her side. Her boss, Gerald, a burly man in his 50s with a belly pressing against his shirt buttons, sneered as soon as he saw her. Well, look who finally showed up. Thought you'd have the sense to quit after last night's little stunt." Emily's throat went dry, but she forced herself to stand tall. "The car's fine." "And I'm not quitting," Gerald barked out a laugh. "Not quitting. You think you get a choice? You're nothing but a liability, Emily. I've carried you out of pity long enough. Your place is out that door." Murmurs rippled through the workers. Tyler's jaw flexed, but he stayed back, giving Emily the space to fight her own battle. Emily's voice wavered at first but grew steadier. "You didn't carry me. I carried myself. Every late shift, every demeaning errand, you threw them at me because you thought I was too scared to fight back." Gerald's smirk faltered. "Careful, girl. Don't dig a hole you can't climb out of." Emily took a step forward, her chest heaving. "The only hole here is the one you've buried your decency in. You use people until they break, and you think it makes you powerful. But power isn't breaking people, it's building them up. And yesterday, someone reminded me of that." Her words cracked through the garage, louder than any hammer strike. Gerald sneered, trying to regain control. "And who's this savior of yours? Him?" He jabbed a finger toward Tyler. "Looks like a washed-up nobody. Figures you dragged trash in here to back you up." Tyler finally spoke, his voice low but cutting. "Better to be trash, that helps, than a man who throws people away." The silence that followed was deafening. Even the machines seemed to hold their breath. Gerald's face flushed crimson. "You think this makes you untouchable, Emily? You think a few pretty speeches change the fact that I own this place?" Emily met his glare with a fire he hadn't seen before. "No, but you don't own me. And if you fire me today, I'll make sure everyone knows how you treat the people who keep your business alive." For the first time, Gerald's bluster faltered. His eyes flicked nervously toward the gathered workers, whose faces no longer carried fear, but something close to solidarity. "You wouldn't dare," he hissed. Emily held his gaze. "Watch me." Later, outside the garage, Emily's hands shook as the adrenaline drained from her. She leaned against her car, her daughter clutching her side. Tyler approached quietly, his son skipping ahead with a toy car in hand. "You were incredible in there," Tyler said. Emily let out a shaky laugh. "I thought my knees were going to give out." "But they didn't," he said firmly. "You stood taller than I've ever seen anyone stand. My son just watched a real superhero." Emily's eyes brimmed with tears. She turned to him, her voice soft. "You don't know what this means. For years, I thought I was nothing more than the names Gerald called me. But you showed me I'm worth more, and I'll never forget that." Tyler shrugged, but his throat tightened. "Maybe we both needed the reminder. Life beats it out of you sometimes." Their kids were laughing nearby, chasing each other in circles. For a fleeting moment, the weight of survival lifted, and the air felt lighter. Emily's daughter tugged on Tyler's sleeve. "Are you gonna be our friend now?" she asked innocently. Tyler knelt, ruffling her hair. "Yeah, kiddo. I think I already am." Emily's gaze softened, her lips curving into the first genuine smile she'd felt in months. And in that quiet parking lot, surrounded by the echoes of change, two single parents realized that sometimes helping a stranger wasn't just about saving them. Sometimes it saved you too.